Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining the webinar again. Hi Rohul, welcome back to the webinar. My name is Eugene and I am the marketing manager here at Akool. To those of you that are here every week, like Rahul, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us every week, especially at your time. I know it's super late for you. But if you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy the webinar. Today's webinar is going to be a very special one because it's not just me today, so you don't have to just listen to my voice for the next 30 minutes to an hour. But we have a very special guest joining us. He's our very own recently senior customer success manager, Sam. They're the mastermind behind making sure our enterprise clients don't just get onboarded, but have a smooth and successful journey at Akool. So, Sam, how are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Perfect. I'm good. Excited to be on here with you. It's been couple of months since I was on
Yeah,
here
since the last
last
time you were
time.
on.
Yeah, lots
Um,
of changes, lots of new things, and not so new things. So,
well, I guess one new thing is congratulations on your promotion. I was very excited for you.
oh, thanks. Yeah, it's good. It's been a lot of big projects and a lot of exciting things going on. So it's just
Yeah.
another step
Um,
moving forward.
Speaking of big projects, I know we're going to talk about a couple of them today,
Mhm.
but before we go into them, like always, if you are here for the 200 credits, I will be releasing the Google form at the end of the webinar where you can fill it out saying, "Hey, I was here. I enjoyed it. I like Sam, bring him on more," or just any kind of feedback.
Or
And
Sam
throughout the
sucks. Don't
webinar,
bring them back.
But throughout the webinar, I will have the chat open on my phone. So if you have any questions for me or Sam, please ask and I will try my best to keep up. Rahul says, "Hey, Muhammad, thank you for coming back." Let's see. Before we get started. Hi, Juhan. Welcome back. Hi, Motivational. Hi, welcome back. Oh, Rahul says, I can confirm that Sam is truly exceptional in his work. I'm already an enterprise member, and Sam was truly helpful for my problem. Oh,
Oh,
oh, that's so
perfect.
cool.
Hey, there we go.
There we go.
Always good to hear that, Raul.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
That means I'm
Okay.
doing my job.
Yeah. No, definitely. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Then let's get straight into it. So, Sam, it's great to have you here. Thank you so much for giving some of your time to be a part of this webinar and to walk us through a little bit about the enterprise process and what you do. So, we'll be talking about the onboarding and we'll dive into two exciting projects that you've been involved in. AMD and I hope I'm saying this right. It's Innova, right?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
yeah, AMD and Innova. So let's start with AMD. So for those who may not know, AMD partnered or we partnered with AMD to integrate on-device avatars into the laptops. This is such a huge milestone for both AMD and us. So can you walk us through the initial stages of the project and how did this partnership with AMD come about?
yeah. So AMD and us have been working together. We're still working together. I wasn't involved on the very initial conversations, but I was brought on once the project was actually starting to move forward. Um, but essentially, with avatars and with things like that, and just with AI in general, there's a lot of resource intensive based product, right? There's machines and GPUs and all that fun stuff that I don't know if it would be boring to get completely into on the seminar. But long story short, um, our two teams work together to kind of solve the problem of putting those avatars on device. So meaning that if you had a computer, right, like a high grade computer, instead of having to have the whole avatar on a separate machine, it could actually be local on your computer. So
Mm.
beginning of last month in January, actually, AMD showcased our initial result at CES, which was super exciting for us. And moving forward, actually. We're going to be continuing to work together to kind of improve upon that and to continue pushing that forward because obviously that's huge for both AI and also the avatar landscape that you'd be able to have your avatar locally based on your own computer device.
Were you able to test out these avatars? Wow, that's I wish I had a chance to look at them or have a test with them.
So
But
actually we had it we brought a an early version with us to New York when we did the New York convention. Um,
oh,
so we had like an fully on-device avatar. A lot of work was done by our CTO Sid. Also,
mm,
he really helped a lot with the technical side, and of course, we worked with AMD's technical team as well.
mm.
Both sides were working together to troubleshoot, handle business, handle all of the logistics and all that fun stuff. So, we're really excited about that partnership, and kind of the potential of it moving forward as we're, continuing to work together in this upcoming year. In fact, I have a meeting with them later today. So we're just full steam ahead, pushing to see how far we can get this going.
So speaking of the meeting that you just mentioned, I understand that there's probably many, many meetings that go into creating this project. So can you share what those meetings are like? If any new enterprise clients are interested in participating in or collaborating with us, what kind of meetings would you say they should expect, or what kind of recommendations would you give them for preparation for these projects?
Yeah, it's I'd say it's not one size fits all, right? I think everyone has their strengths in terms of technical savvy. I mean, honestly, believe it or not, when I first joined this company, I was technical, but I wasn't coding websites or anything like that. So you learn a lot, but also, AI, it changes so much all the time. So I think it's one of those things where once you're plugged in, and I assume everyone that's watching this right now is very plugged in, because if not, you wouldn't be you wouldn't be tuning into this seminar. As everyone here would know, uh, it feels like every week there's a new thing coming out and you're
Mhm.
just constantly learning. So in terms of meetings, I'd say there's a couple main things, right? Um, some customers, they have a very extensive um, technical background, meaning, they're coding, they're doing all sorts of things like that. And for them, we will set up an initial meeting. Typically, I'm not on the very first meeting. That's with the sales team. I know Meteor was on here last week. He's one of the members of the sales team. So they'll typically do the first meeting, and then once the ball's rolling, I'll usually get involved, and I'll kind of have a meeting to gauge where that team is at, how much technical support they'll need, because I do now. I have a technical team with me as well. So it doesn't, if you're not the most tech savvy person, we're here to help.
Mhm.
That's our whole job. And then as the project's going, we'll set up communication lines. So, some people prefer Slack, some people prefer other modes of communication. Um, but pretty much you have a direct line of contact to me and to my team, where we can walk you through things, troubleshoot things, um, because it's always a work in progress. And ultimately, the goal is to make sure that you and your team are up and running and getting the most out of what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, last week for the webinar, we had Meteor on, and he mentioned how w when we do these collaborations, we take pride in the fact that we're always there for the client, always trying to help them, and just always online to make sure that everything is going well. And I'm assuming that that part is a lot of it is your job. So
Yeah.
can you attest that I do know that oftentimes you do work way, way late into the nights and still come into office in the mornings. So I like from my experience, I do know that you work all day, all night. So yeah, I'm assuming that what he's saying.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, we're a global company, right?
Yeah.
And so we have clients literally everywhere. And we don't expect clients to bend their time
Mm,
to us, right? I mean, at the end of the day, um, my role in the team that works with me, our role is to help those people. So we do our best to try to make as many accommodations as possible to kind of meet on your time zone, those type of things. For me, it results in sometimes some crazy weeks, some crazy uh times, but at the same time, um, when the projects are actually launched and when they come out the correct way, or when, like earlier in the chat, you hear that someone actually was, benefiting from that, then,
mhm.
it makes you feel good.
Yeah, it must be so satisfying seeing everything come into place. So then after everything, like with AMD, after all of these meetings and after the first showcase at CES,
Mhm.
do you know how AMD reacted to this achievement? Did they share
I
thoughts on the avatars?
Yeah, I mean they were very happy. It's a big deal. As far as I'm aware, we're the only ones that have done it so far, which
Mm,
is obviously always great. Um, you know, being in this industry, it's always kind of a race, right? Where
yeah.
if someone figures out how to do something, whether that's us or somebody else, everyone else is then trying to figure it out as well. So part of my job and part of, our job is to continually push the envelope
Mm,
on what can be done, what can we actually do. Um, and I think that kind of separates us from a lot of people. I think a lot of people, for better or worse, they put themselves in a box per se. Whereas I think we're very open, especially on the enterprise side. And everything I'm saying is more enterprise oriented, obviously, but we're open to work with you to make sure or to try and attempt for some of the crazier options that are out there. Because not only is it helping you, but also that way, we can really see how far we can go at the same time. So that's why, going back to AMD, right? They're very happy. And, they're excited moving forward to see what else we can actually do with it and how far we can push it.
yeah, I'm really excited too. I wish I saw the avatars that you were talking about, but I'm sure they'll be released to the public soon. Do you have a some kind of general timeline of when it might be ready, or is it still just in early stages?
It's pretty early stages. I mean, the fact that it was showcased at
Mhm.
CES is a pretty big deal. Um, that's part of, there's some planning and I'm not in I don't have full control over all that. Obviously
Yeah.
when two companies are working together, it's got to be agreements, but um I think that what we released is an amazing start, and I think there's a lot more we can potentially do. So I'd say in the next few months, I'm really excited to see where things will actually go.
Yeah, keep me updated. I'm really interested. This is so exciting. But before we move on, actually, Rahul comments. He's asking if you can do something about the prices of the AMD GPUs, as a joke. But he also comments that he did have the privilege to get support from you, and that you were in constant touch with his problem, and that it was resolved very quickly, and that it was really good to see your determination towards the customers. So, wow, great job. This is
There you
amazing to
go.
see live feedback.
Hey, I love the live feedback. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, we've all been customers
Mm,
of things, and so from my perspective, right, like I completely understand um, if you're trying to do something or say you bought something or whatever else, um, sometimes you feel like you're screaming into the void, right,
yeah.
where you're you're not actually getting the help you need. Not that that doesn't help us. If you're having issues with, what we're producing, right? I mean, the best thing we can do is help you and kind of walk you through all those things and also show you what else you can actually potentially do with our product as well.
Yeah, I love the way you think. It's entirely true. But let's shift gears into the Innova project. This is
Mhm.
another incredible use case where Akool's technology was used to create an interactive avatar for tourism purposes. Can you tell us a little bit about this project and how it got started?
Yeah, so I want to say back in I think October, November of last year. So this is a group based out of Italy, uh,
Mhm,
and they're working along with the Dubai government as well. And essentially, the first stage of everything is that they created similar to AMD. It's on-device avatars, but on a watch. So think an Apple Watch, but they actually created the watch themselves. Um,
Oh.
so they completely manufactured the watch, and they set up everything. So that was actually a lot of meetings because me and my team had to help integrate everything
Mhm,
into their coding system, make sure it was all working, all that fun stuff. A lot of late nights, but essentially what the watch is there's an avatar on the watch, and there's cameras and microphones, so the watch can actually interact with the environment.
mhm,
So you're not just um, it's not just, if you go onto our website and you have the avatar, which is obviously great, but theirs is that way. There's kind of a recognition where it's hey, what's on the menu here? And then you can scan it essentially, and the avatar would know and be able to interact with it. So that's another project that we are continually moving forward on. They actually also showcased it at CES as well. So we're going to move forward with next stages on that one and continue improving upon what they already showed. And then also we have a couple potential projects later down the line with them as well.
That's so exciting. So especially with this kind of technology, I understand that there were multiple days of live troubleshooting, and then, as you said, we have our own technical team that assists in this integration. Were there any technical challenges that you saw rose or showed up a lot, especially with AMD as well? Were there any common challenges that were showing up? And then if there were, is there any kind of advice that you could give to future enterprise clients that might be interested in something similar, and that way you can avoid these challenges?
Yeah, I'd say the most common um, challenge that we kind of see and kind of help with is people there's multiple different coding languages, right?
Mhm.
And obviously our product has a specific coding language as well. So a lot of times we just we're needed to help connect the dots with some of those things. Um, we've actually recently, in the last month or so, we've done a lot to help with that. Our team has created a pretty robust GitHub repository. Uh, so essentially, it's a way where you can look down the all the different integrations you could possibly do, and there's actual guidelines and example code as well. So if you're trying to achieve certain things, and this isn't just for avatars, this is for face swap, translation, all sorts of stuff that we offer here. That way, obviously we're here to help you, but then also if you're a little bit more independent, or if you want to at least, if you want to give it that try, you have those options where you're not completely cut off. Um, so I say that that's the biggest thing probably. It's just the initial startup, but more often than not, when people get everything set up and put together, it's pretty easy rolling.
Oh, that's good to know. I'm sure that these clients will take that advice into sorry, give me 1 second.
No, no worries.
My window got shut or closed for some reason. Oh, but speaking back on CES, I wasn't there, so I wasn't able to experience these showcases that you were mentioning.
Hmm.
But what was the experience like?
So
Like,
actually, I didn't
yeah.
get to go to CES.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, I didn't get to go.
Oh,
I've gone to all the other ones. I didn't go to see,
yeah.
um, a couple, I think Sid went and a couple other
Mm,
people. Um, but I heard it was a really big success, and
mm,
the teams that went to CES, not just our internal teams, but actually the partners, they came into our office afterwards and showcased some of the other stuff as well. So, um, but we got lots of videos and pictures sent to us of everything. So it was good to see how busy uh they all were at the convention and everything. And CS is a big deal. So it's always good to have a bit of presence there as well.
yeah. I'm sure seeing these projects just finally come to life must feel so satisfying for you, especially for Innova. Do you know what their reaction was to finally seeing everything come through? Were they able to give feedback on the whole process?
I mean, yeah, they were really excited. It's always good when you've been working on the project for so long
Yeah.
and you actually see it come to fruition because especially with like the more I don't want to say out there projects, but the ones that going in are going to take a lot of innovation to,
Mm.
to make sure they come together. It's really good to actually see the end result, and how many meetings you had and all that fun stuff, and you're like, okay, it worked out. There it is. It's good to see.
All your hard work finally coming to life.
Yeah, until the next one.
Yeah. But you did say earlier that Innova is a company based in Italy.
Mhm.
So why were the meeting times like then?
For me, very late.
Very,
Well,
very late.
so you gotta think like, we're we're based in the US, or at least our portion of our team.
Hmm.
We have team members based in Shanghai, team members based in India, and we work with people literally all over the world. Uh,
Hmm.
so another part of my job is I have to coordinate those meeting times where it'll work for everybody. Um, Now, oftentimes, if we're working with people, based in Europe or Asia, it just makes more sense to have the meeting at a time that's more accommodating to them, since their time zone's closer to the rest of our other team members' time. Which means for me, I'm taking meetings sometimes between like 9 at night to 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Uh, which is more than fine. It's just when there's a lot of stuff going on, obviously there's a lot of meetings, and it
Yeah.
kind of you're in the twilight zone a little bit, but
So you're saying if I ever need to, or if I ever want to have a late night conversation with you, I just have to pretend to be a European client, and then I could set up this meeting between you and me.
yeah, just give me a day's
You'll be
notice.
there. That's good to know. Okay, but going back to Nova, I heard that there is a version 2 in the works.
Mhm.
Is there anything you can share about this?
Not yet, just
Not yet.
because we're kind of figuring out with them
Mhm.
what that version 2 looks like and next steps, but yeah, that'll get started really soon.
Then with these two projects that you mentioned with AMD and Innova, to get to the stage that we are now, where they were able to showcase what they have at CES,
Mhm.
how long did they take? Fro-
Um, I want to say probably 3 to 4 months. Um, and for a variety of reasons, right? I think them in particular, it's very new ideas, right? Because it's
Mhm.
not, you have to remember, it's not our normal streaming avatars. And even the streaming avatars, right? If you think about it, every single large scale integration, you got to think of it almost as a custom build, just because everyone has a unique system or website that they want to put the avatars into. Uh,
Mhm.
And then there's a lot of different variables that are out there that vary case by case, right? Whether that's it's going to be in a public setting or it's going to be on a web page and a certain amount of people are going to be interacting with it. Or, there's a lot of stuff that you have to take into consideration. With these two, the on-device thing was a big deal. Um, especially for AMD because that's fully on a laptop
Hmm.
using the chip as like where the avatar is. So there's a lot of logistics that needed to be figured out and a lot of technical aspects of all right, well, where does this go? Where does that go? Um, and kind of meetings to make sure that it works between both teams and a whole bunch of stuff, behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, that one took a little bit. I mean, it's relatively speaking, not that long, honestly, if you really think about it.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's quick.
yeah,
I
which
honestly was expecting close to a year, but
no, no,
4 months is pretty quick.
I
Yeah.
think it was October or November is
Oh,
when we started like really working on it. So yeah, pretty quick turnaround. So that I mean, that's why like moving forward, we'll probably have longer runway on certain things. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of that.
yeah, it's a lot faster than I thought it would be. I mean, probably partly because of how much effort you put into these meetings and making sure that everything goes perfectly. So that is, let's see. Sorry, I we do have one comment. Oh, Rahul was just mentioning that I could pretend to be an Indian client, if I want to have late night calls with you. Thank you, Rahul. I'll keep that in mind. But these two
Lots of
projects
late
are
night calls with our we have a ton of Indian clients, so very used to that time zone at this
great
point.
advice, Rahul. Thank you. But these two projects are incredible examples of how Akool works with these enterprise clients. So, Sam, from your perspective as a customer success manager, what are the key steps in ensuring a smooth onboarding process for these clients and maybe potential new ones?
Yeah, I would say coming in, have a good idea of what you're trying to accomplish, right? Um, whether that's a website, an application, whatever. I would say have a good idea of what you're trying to achieve, who the audience is, and be open to working together. Because at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff, there's a lot
Mhm.
of teamwork involved. There's a lot of give and take in terms of different teams, different environments, different locations. Um, but at the end of the day, when you're trying to really achieve something like this, it takes all of that to make sure it's all working and up to speed. So just be open to that process. In the very beginning, a lot of the times, um, it might feel like you're banging your head against a wall, but it's just getting everything set up. I'd say the first portion is always the hardest because it's just there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of setup, a lot of things that you need to account for to make sure everything works like how it's supposed to, and to make sure that you're, ultimately set up for success.
That's great advice. Thank you. Then what would you say is the most rewardful part of your role in all of this?
Um, I'd say two things. I'd say obviously when it's successful, right? I mean, that feels good.
Yeah.
But also, it's like the little in-betweens where there's a project and think of it like this. Every project has milestones, right?
Mhm.
Whether it's fully complete or not, I can't even tell you how many projects currently working on right now. But there's stages. there's stages and there's little steps. Um, and I think when you hit those steps, it's always a big deal, not just for us, but for the clients, right? Like the first time the client actually sees the avatar working in their environment, it's always a big deal to them. Um, Same with when it's doing what they actually want it to, that's also a really big deal. And also, that makes us feel good because obviously it means we're doing our job, right? So, um, it's kind of, and also, over time, you build relationships with these people. I mean, if you're in meetings and talking, at least on my side, I'm talking with people and in meetings with people all the time. So, you grow to really want the best for them, and you want them to, achieve what they're going after. And, uh, when that happens, it's a good feeling.
Yeah, I can't imagine how good it feels after working on this for so long. 3 to 4 months, late nights, and finally seeing an example of like the hard work that you put in. It must feel amazing. Then, do you have any favorite projects that you've worked on?
Um, I mean, the Qatar was really great.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
Guitar One was good.
I think we talked about that when it first
Yeah,
came
I think.
out. But it was a massive success.
Mhm.
Uh, a lot of late nights with that one too. But I mean, that one is on a different sphere because it was on like a global level, right?
Mm,
Which is really cool to see like something you worked on at like an airport or like a TV commercial or something.
mm,
I mean that's really cool. Um, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's so many projects, right? I think that would be definitely a standout though for me, so far at least. But there's some in the works. I can't really talk about them, but there's
of course.
there's some in the works that if they continue on the pace they're going, they have the potential to pass that up.
Yeah. Then, with all of these projects that you've worked on, are there any projects that you're interested in working on that you're hoping there'll be a company that will, you're like, oh, I hope we get this avatar hologram company that wants to work with us, or anything that you're hoping would
Um, there's a few. I don't know how much I can say. Let me put it like this. I have a film background,
Hmm,
so obviously certain companies that fall into that category, that would be great. Same goes for sports or anything related in that. Um, I think there's a lot of potential in both of those spheres. Um, and it would be pretty exciting for me on my side, to kind of help our product break into those areas too.
yeah, I
As cryptic as I can possibly be.
No, I'm sure all the viewers understand that there's not much that you can share, but thank you for sharing what you can. In the meantime, okay, so I'm going to quickly release the Google form to say you're here. So please fill it out. Let us know that you're here and give us any feedback. Excuse me, any feedback that you can. But
You don't be afraid to tell them Sam sucks. You never want him back.
no, no, no.
Or,
Like, oh,
or,
Sam was amazing. Please have him as a new host for the webinars.
hey, well, that puts you out of hosting job, man. I think it would get pretty chaotic if I was the host, honestly.
No, no, no. I've seen the work you do. I feel like you're really good. You're good at everything. So you'd easily be able to take this job from me.
Uh, nah.
Let's see. Yeah, so please fill it out. I'm going to only leave it up for about 5 minutes and then I will close it. So please fill it out when you can. 5 minutes should be enough time. But while you are filling it out, please ask any questions if you have any questions for me or Sam. And then, so Sam, thank you so much for giving up 30, 40 minutes of your time to be in this webinar and talk about your experience as a customer success manager
Yeah,
at
it was worth hearing. It was worth it just to get pumped up by Rahul in the chat.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Thank you, Rahul, for the comments. I'm sure Sam enjoyed it a lot.
Rahul's comments made the whole thing worth it. Not that I was like, oh no, but hey,
Also,
you,
like getting to talk, like being able to talk with me wasn't worth it. You needed Rahul in this as well.
I'm not saying it wasn't worth it, right?
Mm,
But obviously, Rahul's on a different level, okay?
of course he
So
is.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I think I might be wrong, but I think it's 1 or 2 a.m. for him right now. He's in India and he's here every single week. So we appreciate you a lot, Rahul. Thank you so much for always being a part of this, of our journey. And thank you, Sam, for helping Rahul. It seems like Rahul is very satisfied with the support that you were able to give him. Oh, no one can take the place of Eugene. Thanks, Rahul. Thank you. I appreciate it.
There you go.
But
See, that's what I'm talking about. Rahul's got your back. Eugene needed that right now. So there you go.
thank you, Rahul. That means a lot to me. Then, with that, before we wrap up, is there anything you would like to say to the audience or any kind of advice that you would give to potential new clients that might be watching this? Just anything on your mind.
Yeah, I'd say, if you're here in the audience, obviously, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of our continued journey here at Akool. I think there's a lot of things in the works that will be really exciting for you guys, especially, we're in very beginning of February right now, so we're still very early in the new year. Um, I'm excited to see kind of what you guys think about some of the new stuff coming out in the future. Um, and for any potential new clients, obviously, feel free to reach out to our team. Don't be afraid to reach out to our team. Um, it's always so interesting finding out how many people use our platform and are doing it all on their own. And we're here to help you. So, um, if there's any big goals or big things you're trying to make happen, hey, reach out and let's see if we can, get that done. But um, and also, good luck to everyone here in the chat. I mean, obviously, if you're here, uh, you really care. So we appreciate that on our side. And especially, shouts out to Rahul for the continued comments throughout this thing. Hope you go to bed soon.
Yeah.
Uh,
He makes these webinars fun for me too.
there you go.
But exactly as you said, thank you so much, Sam, for sharing your expertise and these incredible stories about the work that you have to put in for these clients and the results that you're able to produce with these clients. It's clear that Akool is doing groundbreaking work with them, and your role is pivotal in making these partnerships successful. So I'm sorry for taking up 40 minutes of your time. I'm sure you have many, many, many more meetings to go to today. So again, Sam, thank you so much for joining the webinar. Thank you, Rahul, and thank you for everyone else, whether you're here every week or if you're new here. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. If you want more of Sam, please leave it in the Google form and then we can have him back on again. But thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sam. I'll see you later, Sam.
Yep.
All right. With that, I hope everyone has a great morning, evening, or Rahul. I guess it's your morning, so have a great morning, night.
Rahul, go to bed.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. Okay. Bye, everyone.